You still texting?
Busy. Where we at?
County morgue?
Not on my schedule.
You scheduled it when you T-boned that minivan and sent 2 people to the hospital. Guess you was paying more attention to that thing than the road.
Making sure my wife picks up my suit.
Sounds like a text message that just couldn't wait.
Texting and driving. A killer combination.
Santa Rosa, out there in the middle of everything.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to call the meeting to order. And as always, we're going to start with the Pledge of Allegiance. We have resolutions concerning some students that we have to vote on here. So I'm going to start out with student number 048.
I'll move that that suspension be suspended, or that expulsion be suspended for the balance of the school year, and the student remain at their present placement.
Second.
That is moved by Director Carl, seconded by Director Christoph. Roll call vote, please.
Director Carl?
Aye.
Director Christoph?
Aye.
Director Close?
Aye.
Director Hanel?
Aye.
Director Pugh?
Aye.
President Jay?
Aye. I need a motion for student 049.
I move the approval of the stipulation.
Second.
That was Director Carl and Director Pugh. Roll call vote, please.
Director Carl?
Aye.
Director Pugh?
Aye.
Director Christoph?
Aye.
Director Close?
Aye.
Director Hanel?
Aye.
President Jay?
Aye. And then finally, student 042.
Move the approval of the recommendation of the panel.
Second.
That was Director Carl and Christoph.
Director Carl?
Aye.
Director Christoph?
Aye.
Director Close? Director Hanel?
Aye.
Director Pugh?
Aye.
President Jay?
Aye. And Director Gonzalez is absent this evening. Thank you. Now we'll move on to any statements of abstention. Director Carl.
Thank you. I have to abstain from item F1, as has been dealt with in the past. The location of that project is too close to my principal place of residence, and as a result, that prevents me from being able to vote on the project.
That applies to me too. Lori, please.
Pardon me?
And C5 is adjustments to the agenda. We do have one adjustment. We're going to pull item C7 for this evening. Any other adjustments? F7. F7, thank you.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's C7?
That's all right. I'm looking at the Cs here. I'm easily confused. Okay. Are there any board member requests for information? Director Christoph.
Yes, I would like to ask the superintendent if she would look into the feasibility at this time, or finding out about how we might find out about the feasibility of looking into a parcel tax. Okay.
Director Pugh.
I have a request. I would like to know if in our geographical area, like the University, California State University system, Chico, SAC, San Francisco, such, if any of them employ in our teacher credential program, actually using a school as a laboratory, called a school laboratory for credentials candidates in schools. I'd like to know if there's anyone located in Northern California I could visit, and I can't seem to find it, and I thought you might have a better ability to do that. Thank you.
So now this really is item C7, approval of the minutes.
We're going to have to take them separately because we have a number of abstentions on each of them.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot make a motion on the first one.
I move that we pass for approval the minutes of 3/9.
Second.
So that's Director Christoph and seconded by Director Pugh. Roll call vote, please.
Director Christoph?
Aye.
Director Pugh?
Aye.
Director Close?
Aye.
Director Hanel?
Aye.
Director Carl?
Abstain.
President Jay?
Aye. And then a motion for March 23rd.
I'll move approval of March 23rd minutes.
Second.
Moved by Director Carl, seconded by Director Hanel. Roll call vote, please.
Director Carl?
Aye.
Director Hanel?
Aye.
Director Christoph?
Abstain.
Director Close?
Aye.
Director Pugh?
Abstain.
President Jay?
Aye. And then we're going to move on to Student of the Month Awards for April 2016, and Director Close is going to do the presentations this evening.
It here? Hello?
There you go.
That says hold mic close to mouth. I'm going to try to follow instructions. Apparently, I didn't do it last time, perhaps. The Post-it's always here. I've just read it for the first time. Okay. Our number one student of the month tonight is from Helen Lehman Elementary School, Simret Gudat. Come on down. Very good to meet you. You have to stand here because people want to look at you and take pictures of you. Simret is a distinguished 6th grade student at Helen Lehman Elementary School. She began her education at Helen Lehman as a 1st grade student and has blossomed into an incredibly talented scholar. The Student of the Month Award is an especially fitting way for Simret to be honored for her 6 hard-working years at Helen Lehman. Simret is known by peers and staff as being polite and courteous. She has a big heart, she's empathetic, and is always finding ways to help others out in and out of the classroom. She shows determination and a natural sense of leadership that can unite any group of students. One of Simret's primary teachers, Mrs. Davenport, says Simret was always super polite and paid attention. I am not surprised at all that she is being chosen. She is an awesome kid. Ms. Sternis, Simrat's fifth grade teacher, said Simrat could be counted on to have excellent attendance, and she was very responsible for her learning by asking clarifying questions to fully understand her tasks, and she always completed her assignments. She was respectful to the adults she worked with and worked well in groups. Simrat has a warm and friendly smile, was a pleasure to have in my class, and is deserving of this honor. Simrat's love of learning and constant curiosity has led her to be a leader for classroom conversations as well as in outdoor education. She always follows directions, yet has a way of putting her own spin on assignments and ideas that make them truly her own. This uniqueness draws other students towards her, always wanting to be in her group or on her team. Simrat has been attending the After School Boys and Girls program for years. While there, she has been a positive role model by completing her own homework as well as assisting other students complete their homework. And of course, when the work is done, she is constantly looking for teachers and other staff to help out after school. That's very nice. Confidence is a quality that Simrat definitely exudes. She and her partner won first place in the annual Helen Lehman 50s dance competition. Do you want to show us some moves? Okay. That's right. For months, Simrat worked hard learning all of the 50s dance steps, practicing several times a day as the dance grew closer. She was great at encouraging other students to get out of their shells and show off their moves too. In the end, her dedication to the dance led her to that first place spot, which was well deserved. Thank you so much, Simrat Gudap, for being the natural leader that you are. Your perseverance, yet cool and composure will take you as far as you want to go. And thank you to your parents for raising such a sweet and compassionate young woman. Their dedication to you and your education shows through every day. We are proud to have you as Helen Lehman Student of the Month. The Board of Education, Helen Lehman School, are proud to name you Santa Rosa City Schools Elementary School Student of the Month.
Give her a copy, too. Give her a copy of the thing. She should give her a copy of them. Did she? Okay.
That's the way to celebrate right there.
Okay, next up is from Rankin Valley Middle School, Jamie Liu.
Director Close, I have to start your presentation by telling you that today is Jamie's birthday.
What? Should we sing? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jamie. Happy birthday to you. That's it. All right. Nice to meet you. Okay, you ready? Rankin Valley Middle School is proud to nominate Jamie Liu as our Santa Rosa City Schools Board of Education Student of the Month for April. Jamie's passion for learning combined with her work ethic, positive attitude, grace, and innovative spirit set her apart as a real Renaissance learner. Jamie is an amazing student. In her 3 semesters at Rankin Valley Middle, she has earned an A in every single class, including Advanced English. In fact, wait, there's more. Jamie has already taken 3 classes at the Santa Rosa Junior College, Introduction to General Chemistry, Algebra 2, and Pre-Calculus Trig. Both her, right? Wow. Both her chemistry and pre-calculus classes are UC transferable. That's awesome. Later. Okay. Not surprisingly, Jamie received an A in each of her JC classes. What really makes Jamie so remarkable is the humility in which she conducts herself. Jamie never boasts or brags about her accomplishments. Instead, she reaches out to help her fellow classmates who might need a little help. Mrs. Varnbuehler, Jamie's 8th grade science teacher, states, "Jamie brightens my day and helps students feel better about learning science. Not only does she excel academically, she is also very courteous and helpful. She routinely volunteers to spend time working with her classmates and provides additional support to those in need. She collaborates with peers in a way that enriches the experience for everyone. Jamie is a gifted writer and thinker, and she loves to extend her passion for learning so that it ripples through those around her." That is nice. If getting straight A's at Rincon Valley Middle and the Santa Rosa Junior College isn't enough, Jamie is an entrepreneur and founding member of Student for Student. This nonprofit organization offers free online tutoring for students. Student for Student connects struggling learners with students who excel in the subject. The two students work together online in a streaming environment. The struggling learner gets authentic, free academic support, and the tutor gets community service credit. It's really a win-win for everyone. Jamie is also a member of the Rincon Valley Middle School Math Counts team. She won the Best Individual Award in 7th grade, and her team took first place at the regional competition 2 years in a row. Lastly, Jamie gives back to the community by volunteering as a counselor's aide at Camp Watom. Last summer, Jamie volunteered over 100 hours to work with kids at the camp and to help plan fun activities for the campers whose ages range from 5 to 12 years old. For a 13-year-old, Jamie's off and running to an amazing start. Rincon Valley is very proud of Jamie, and we wish her much continued success in the future. So on behalf of the Board of Education and Rincon Valley Middle School, we congratulate you on being Student of the Month. Thank you. Very good. All right. We're going to do this in the right order this time. We're going to take a picture and then get the cupcake. One of the reasons that we have these cupcakes, besides for the Student of the Month and Jamie's birthday, is also because it was President Jay's birthday on Monday. Okay, from Pioneer High School, Pioneer High's Student of the Month is Nicole Gregorio. Santa Rosa City Schools and Pioneer High School are pleased to recognize Nicole Gregorio as the Student of the Month. Nicole is a respected and cherished member of Pioneer High School. The student body and staff members gladly rushed to recommend Nicole as the deserving recipient of this award. To begin, Nicole is an early college magnet student at Pioneer High School, which means she attended the Santa Rosa Junior College on a weekly basis while also having a schedule at Pioneer. Nicole carries herself on the Pioneer campus like a college student. She is graceful, focused, and purposeful, and these traits stand out for all of her instructors who are fortunate to have her in their classrooms during the school day. When at Pioneer, Nicole makes full use of her time and eagerly engages in all classroom activities, consistently displaying curiosity and a deep sense of wonder about the world. This led to her being awarded one of the very first science, technology, engineering, and mathematics certificates called a STEM certificate from Pioneer High School last year. One of her teachers, Mr. Kurt Kruger, who has worked with Nicole extensively in her time at Pioneer High, comments that she is one of the most hardworking, intelligent, caring, high-achieving, fun-loving, and just plain all-around amazing students. Her self-discipline, intelligence, and kindness have earned her the respect of both staff and peers. She consistently leads by example and strives to make the world around her a better place. One of Nicole's teachers, Ms. Simone Spearman, comments that Nicole is confident, deliberate, and always thinking ahead, especially when concerning higher education. She understands cause and effect. She is passionate about biochemistry. Thus, she figured out how to explore this passion by doing research at Sonoma State. She established connections with faculty, applied for a research position, and won the opportunity to work on a college campus during the summer of her junior year. Nicole does not merely dream. Nicole makes her dreams her reality. Congratulations to Nicole for all of her ongoing wonderful work. The Board of Education and Pioneer High School are proud to name Nicole Gregorio as Pioneer High's High School Student of the Month.
Well, that was fun. That was good. Congratulations to all you students. Very well deserved. Now we're going to move on to parent organization updates. And we're going to start with Helen Lehman Elementary School. Is Evelia Benavides here? Come on down.
Buenas noches, Junta Escolar de Santa Rosa. Mi nombre es Evelia Benavides y soy la presidenta de PFO de Helen Lehman. Este año la organización de padres y facultad cuenta con más participación de los padres. Esto proporciona nueva energía al grupo, que se complementa con la sabiduría de los padres que han estado en la escuela desde muchos años. Alrededor de 10 padres asisten a nuestras reuniones regularmente. Planeamos eventos de diversión para las familias. También hacemos eventos para recaudar fondos. Nuestro objetivo es unir a las familias, mejorar la experiencia escolar y apoyar a los estudiantes en las clases. Llevamos a cabo las noches de cine regularmente, donde se venden alimentos, se disfruta de la compañía de otras familias. Llevamos a cabo nuestra posada anual en diciembre y compartimos antojitos mexicanos, escuchamos música y viendo a los estudiantes realizar bailables folclóricos. Aunque siempre estamos encantados de recaudar fondos en nuestros eventos, nuestro verdadero objetivo es construir una comunidad fuerte, apoya a nuestros estudiantes y educación. Cuando regresamos de las vacaciones de invierno, tuvimos nuestra primera noche de bingo con comida chatarra. Esta primavera estamos teniendo un concurso de talento de nuestro primer evento de ropa usada. Con el dinero que ganamos, apoyamos las clases, donamos dinero para el viaje de 5º grado, para los barcos de altura, una experiencia de campo de la educación al aire libre, para nuestros alumnos de 6º grado, y autobuses para todos los grados para asistir a los paseos. Los maestros hacen sus peticiones especiales y nosotros los ayudamos a comprar. Incluso ayudamos a comprar premios para nuestra tienda de Dolphin Dollar y apoyamos a la escuela con el programa BES. Nuestra organización está trabajando bien junto y el sentimiento de unidad. en el grupo se está extendiendo a los otros padres también. Hay una sensación que los padres están más conectados a la escuela y se nota a través de la participación con nuestros eventos. Cuando pedimos donaciones para nuestras noches de cine, venta de comida y otros eventos, los padres realmente ayudan. Con sus donaciones, su participación, hemos sido capaces de tener más éxito para recaudar fondos. Detrás de cada evento sentimos el apoyo del personal de la escuela, Laura, nuestra coordinadora de familias, y Lía, nuestra coordinadora de los estudiantes, han apoyado nuestros eventos para ayudarnos a hacer volantes, carteles, para informar de nuestros eventos. Lía también pinta caritas a los niños gratuitamente. En algunos de nuestros eventos más grandes, la señora Haley, nuestra directora, asiste a todos nuestros eventos. Coordinó el juego de las sillas en nuestra noche de posada. Organizó nuestra noche de bingo con comida chatarra. Y no es tímida para ayudar a servir comida. Los maestros también apoyan. Para eventos, la señora Harlem asiste a todas las reuniones de enlace para el personal. Este año ha sido un buen año para la organización de padres y facultad, y ya estamos empezando a pensar en las cosas divertidas que podemos hacer el año que viene. Gracias por su tiempo. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm going to translate that. Good evening, Santa Rosa School Board. I am Avilia Benavides, Helen Lehman Elementary School's PFO president. This year, the parent-faculty organization has more parent involvement. This provides new energy to the group that complements the wisdom of parents who have been at our school for many years. There is a strong core of about 10 parents that show up to our meetings regularly. We plan fun events for the families and also do fundraisers that earn money. Our goal is to bring families together, improve the school experience, and support students in the classroom. We hold regular movie nights where we sell food and enjoy each other's company. We hold our annual posada in December, sharing traditional Mexican food, listening to music, and watching students perform in ballet folkloria. While we are always thrilled to make money at our events, our real focus is to build a strong community that supports our students and their education. When we returned from winter break, we had our first junk food bingo night. This spring, we will be having a talent show and hold our first rummage sale fundraiser. With the money that we earn, we support the classrooms by donating money for our fifth graders' trip on the tall ships, an overnight outdoor education camp experience for our sixth graders, and buses for all grades to attend field trips. Teachers know if they need something special, they can ask us to help purchase it. We even buy prizes for the Dolphin Dollar Store to support the school-wide BEST program. Our organization is working well together, and the feeling of unity in the group is spreading to other parents as well. There is a feeling that the parents are more connected to the school, and it shows through participation in our events. When we ask for donations for our movie snacks, our movie nights, snack sales, and other events, the parents really step up. With their donations and participation, we have been able to have more successful fundraisers. Behind the scenes, we feel support from the school staff. Laura, our family engagement coordinator, and Leah, our student engagement coordinator, have supported us by making flyers and posters to spread the word about our activities. Leah also paints faces for free at some of our larger functions. Mrs. Haley, our school principal, comes to all of our events. She coordinated the game of musical chairs at our Posada night, organized our junk food bingo night, and is not shy to jump in to help serve food. Teachers also show up to events, and Mrs. Harlan attends all of our meetings as a liaison with the staff. This year has been a good year for the parent-faculty organization, and we are already starting to think about the fun things we can do next year. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Good report. We really do appreciate the parents who come down and take precious time away from their families in the evening to talk to us about what's going on at their schools. Next school is Rincon Valley Middle School with Julie Windish. Is Julie here? Yes, here comes. Here she comes.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Julie Windish. I am the co-president of the Student Teacher Parent Council at Rincon Valley Middle School. I'm also the mom of 8th grade twin boys. The STPC provides volunteers and funds to enable activities and to support the goals for the school community. Some of the things we do, we have a teacher startup funds, and this year we have a new supply closet that if teachers need anything for their students, they just go in the office and they can do that. I just got an email the other day from one of the teachers saying all of her supplies were gone, and she was so happy not to have to reach into her own pocket to get supplies, so that's new. We have student and staff recognition and development. We fund field trips, orientation and showcase. We do carnivals and dances, color teams and sportorama. We have a Renaissance group, math counts and Odyssey of the Mind. We also offer peer tutoring, SAT preparation, and homework club. We also raise money for our Common Core and elective programs, and this year we have been able to purchase new technology for Rincon, including laptop and tablet computers and a brand new electronic marquee for the front of the school to keep all of the parents informed. We raise significant funds through our annual family giving campaign, e-script support, dances and carnivals, and dine and donate events. Our principal does such a great job of making Rincon feel like a family, even though it's only a 2-year school. Mr. Marshall keeps everyone informed on a regular basis. I'm fortunate enough that I get to be involved on almost a daily basis, but for those that are unable to, they always know what's going on. I love running into parents at the grocery store and out and about and asking them about their experience at Rincon, and they always have positive feedback for me. They appreciate all the principal's messages that he sends out, and we also enjoy being able to keep up with the Facebook page. So that's how we're doing. Thank you.
Good report. Thank you very much. And finally, we have Pioneer High School, Karen Wolford.
Hi, my name is Karen Wofford, and this is my second year of being the Pioneer High School PTSA president. We have a very diverse group of parents and students, and we do struggle a bit. We have over 50% of our families with low income. However, our Pioneer PTSA is a small but mighty little group. We raise funds mainly by e-script, but also from our dues and dine and donates. Our PTSA helps Pioneer by helping out at parent orientation and registrations. We support programs like our Monroe Toy Drive and parent educational programs, teacher supplies, Poetry Out Loud competition, teacher appreciation, PTSA scholarship, and personal achievement awards. We also help by educating our parents with a college and career presentation and an enlightening visit from our school resource officer. It was nice to hear that Pioneer was in pretty good standing from her. Our PTSA is kept informed at our monthly meetings with our face-to-face updates with our principal. We love Mr. Z. This close connection helps keep communications open, and we have rich conversations over issues and events at our school, and we're very happy that he is so quick to respond and get back to us. Even though Pioneer tends to get some bad press, even recently, we're very proud of our school. We love our Spark Center, the Early College Magnet Program, the Culinary Program, the STEM program, and especially our committed staff and how they take such good care of our students. They may not always be perfect, meaning the students, but we have a great group at our school. We are hopeful that we will get lights for our stadium as soon as possible. We know that this will not only benefit our football team, but also girls and boys soccer, especially with the change with boys playing in the winter, track, our cheer teams, fans, and really help out school morale, and also bring in students. I happen to work at a charter middle school, so I hear that very often that Pioneer doesn't have lights. We also know that with higher attendance at our sporting events, we will bring in more money for our athletic fund, which we need. And our booster parents, along with the Pioneer Hall of Fame Committee, are working very hard to raise funds as best as we can with our small groups. Our crab feed was very successful, and we've even been selling lollipops for lights, raising $1 at a time. We would like to thank Mr. Eichmann and the school board for the time and effort that we know has been going into making that happen, and we appreciate the updates from Mr. Z. My son will be graduating in June, and thanks to Piner's early college magnet program, he will already have completed almost a year of college through the JC. We're so pleased that we made the right decision in having him attend Piner High School. So thank you so much for your time.
Congratulations to your son. That's a great accomplishment. People should be lining up to go to take the be part of the early college magnet program. Thank you very much to everybody all the parents who spoke. We're going to take a 5-minute break now, so you can all, if you choose to leave us, it's good. You can have pictures taken and just say hello to your fellow families, and we'll be back in 5. Back to order. We have some basketball fans among us who are getting rather mean, so I have to call the meeting back to order. I know. Okay, now we move on to public comments of items not on the agenda. The public is invited to address the board regarding items that are pertinent to the district but not listed on this agenda. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes each. The board shall take no action or discussion on any item not appearing on this agenda except as authorized by law. Should a member of the public have comments that pertain to a complaint against an employee of the district, the board advises that the matter should first be pursued using the appropriate district complaint procedure. I have 2 cards. The first one is Florian McClelland, and the second one is Kate Jensen. So Florian? let me guess, you're from the award-winning Maria Carey
I'm
School
from-
curriculum
yeah.
team, culinary team.
Yep, that is
Excellent.
correct.
Excellent.
Thank you. So I'm Florian McClelland, and I've been a part of the culinary program at Maria Carey High School since my junior year. And myself and the culinary classes take cooking very seriously. And this class has opened many doors to me as well as a wide range of students, and has also given us some sense of direction at school as well as after high school when we continue our education. This year, I competed in Skills USA, and my group did very well. In San Diego, we competed at the statewide competition and placed first, second, and third, which brought positive representation to Carrillo as well as the district. When we heard that the architects planned to convert the small property behind the school on Calistoga Road to a parking lot, we were a little disappointed. A cooking complex instead of a parking lot would be much better, because there would be the possibility and room for a small restaurant setting like a cafe to create a training environment for catering classes. This kind of a program teaches real-world skills that stay with students throughout life. Not only will we take advantage of the building itself, but the land surrounding it would be used as a garden where vegetables and fruits would be planted to cut the cost of food. Having this complex would expand the potential of a great learning platform. I urge you to reconsider the current plan and convert the property into a culinary complex, which would greatly benefit the school, district, as well as students to come. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. Kate Jensen?
Sure, thanks. That's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Good evening. I'm here this evening to speak about Santa Rosa French American Charter School. At our school, you may already know this, but I want to alert you again as our charter is being reviewed. There is a lack of open, direct elections for parent representatives who will have no more than a merely advisory, there are open, direct elections for parent representatives who will have, there's a lack of open, direct elections for parent representatives who will have more than a merely advisory role at SR Facs. Open, direct votes on major issues such as changes in our school's future plans. For instance, the search for the International Middle School were not voted on. Neither was the school position on the alteration of the charter from K-8 to K-6. Surveying of parents to assist in representation of those parents, there's a lack of. There is a lack of general open dialogue opportunities between parent representatives and the parents whom they are attempting to represent. It's just not right. Opportunities between parent representatives and the parents, and it's been to our school's detriment. For instance, population-wise, we have painted ourselves into a corner. We have admitted so many children in the last 2 years that we can only fit the current family siblings in if we completely forego all other necessary facilities, such as a special resource room, an adequate nursing bay. This situation could become a legal nightmare. I personally am aware of parents, and I am a parent, who has chosen not to enforce legal options on behalf of my children in an effort to protect our new school from litigious situations. It is this overcrowding that is the reason that we cannot offer a quality middle school on our campus. Why have we overcrowded our campus? As I mentioned, parents were not consulted, not part of a dialogue, did not vote, and were not surveyed. I do know that the decision to overcrowd the school was simultaneous with the decision to search for an international middle school. As we are considering the changes to the charter, I feel that one change that would make a significant impact on the democracy at the school in avoidance of situations such as these in the future would be to create the SAB as not a merely advisory body, but as a decision-making body. And that would, in turn, cause the PAF to be the fundraising and financial body that it was always intended to be. Because right now, the PAF is very involved in the decision-makings at the school, and the parents who are on the PAF are nominated, they are not elected. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we're going to move on to employee association reports. And the first one is Santa Rosa Teachers Association President Ola Kinkley. Hello.
Good morning. It's not moving. Oh, you have to push it in. Thank you. You're welcome. Good evening, everyone. I sure hope everyone is having another wonderful day. As that happy saying goes, April showers bring May flowers. So much for March. It's gone. Sorry to have missed the meeting of March 17. I understand it was shortened to the point. There's a lot of buzz about the March 28th Professional Day. We had the lovers, the likes, and those who wanted to see a new game, more teachers' input. All in all, however, there were some happy campers. There are a lot of meetings taking place this month at the DO, technology, department heads, admins, books, truancy, and the best one, drop-ins, or just because. This makes for a very happy and friendly atmosphere. Thanks again to the DO for sending 10 teachers to the Good Teaching Conference. I know they will come back with great ideas to share with their colleagues. And since I will be there, one of the hosts, they will have a really good time. Thank you. Happiness is in the air. There is a ray of sunshine when people are given a chance to spread their wings and fly among awesome educators. Public School Week is coming May 6th to the 11th. I was glad to see the email letting our schools know that they are welcome to set up and use students' work. This is a great opportunity for us to showcase our students' work. Hopefully we can get some of the students or some of our schools to be there for opening night and hopefully performance. I too is on that committee. April 26th is the date of the SRTA Student of the Year Awards ceremony. It will take place at Santa Rosa High in their historical auditorium. Starting time is 6 p.m. We will be presenting awards to 23 of the top students in Santa Rosa City Schools. Board members, you will be getting your personal invite soon. Now, a fun activity is set for April 29th, starting at 4 p.m. for all of you that enjoy the opportunity to meet and greet people with a touch of class. Now, a special shout out goes to personnel in the warehouse. They are doing real well. They're getting stuff out on time, if not a day ahead. Also, a special shout goes out to the maintenance department, the lawn cutters. Oh my gosh, I love that smell. Things are green and full of color, and our campuses are looking fresh. And last but not least, to all the members of the middle school's history departments, I say thank you for getting us united and on the same trail down the road to historical events. And of course, words of wisdom. You should have a copy in front. Deals with friend. There's very little that will stop your growth or restrict your thinking more than limiting yourself to circle to those of one kind, and to others close the door. Some very fine people whose path you'll cross won't be a bit like you. They'll dress and act and look much different and not do the things you do. Being a friend isn't always so easy. Trust me, I know. Others you know may object, but in the end, you'll broaden your circle and gain everybody's respect. Even one who's a friend to everyone won't have everyone as a friend, but one who's a friend to everyone has many more friends in the end. Thank you very much for listening. Have a great evening.
Thank you. And is Tammy Afonso here? No Tammy tonight. Okay. Interim Superintendent Kitamura.
Thank you, President Jay. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to begin my report by first congratulating Director Pugh for his election to the National School Board Secretary-Treasurer position. Please join me in a round of applause. Next, I'd like to, it's almost kind of funny that I have to remind that we are in the SBAC testing time. The reason I say that is that I've absolutely, and I better knock on some wood somewhere, have heard so little about anything erupting, any kind of problems out of the sites. What that means is our staff, our teachers, our testing coordinators, our admin are doing a fabulous job in administering our second round, our second year of the SBAC. Additionally, what it says is that the money we've invested and that the community has invested with the measure I and L, in that we have implemented the infrastructure for our wiring and internet access, means that last year when we had 900 Chromebooks and we were transferring Chromebooks around and sharing them, it's quite a difference for this year when we have over 4,900 Chromebooks out and about in our district. That's a combination of those purchased through the bond, but also through school sites and parent organizations that we've heard of that have helped support their schools. So I just really applaud our school sites and the fabulous job they're doing. Today was the start of the high school. So now we have both elementary and high school going, and again, no dip in services in terms of our internet access, as well as the equipment being used so efficiently. So I think that's great. And then finally, like I always do, I'll end up with students. You heard from the culinary students from Murillo Carrillo. What they didn't actually say was that May Brazil was one of the students that won a bronze medal in the state competition. Florian, who spoke here, won a silver medal. And the gold medal was won by Harrison Saul, who is now going to go on to Kentucky to compete in the national competition. Additionally, I have another student I'd like to recognize, and her name is Adriana Begley. She's a student at Santa Rosa High School. She won at the local contest for the FFA job interview competition, and now will go on to the state competition to compete for Santa Rosa High School. As a former ag teacher, I couldn't be more proud of that. In addition to that, I'm also proud of the fact that she, Adriana, was crowned the Sonoma County Dairy Princess as well. Dr. J, that concludes my report.
Good report. President's report. I guess the only thing I have to tag on to what Diane said about the FFA, there were some of us there, I guess about a week or so ago, and we helped out with mock interviews for kids who were going on to state competition. And of course, the quality of the students are always amazing, how composed they are, how mature they are, and how dedicated they are to their program. So it was really a joy to participate with them this year. And then, I just went blank. I was going to do something. I went someplace else. I wonder where I went. I don't know. Maybe it'll come to me later. But I guess that'll conclude my report for right now. And under board committee reports, it says Teacher Advisory Committee was on March 15th, but we don't have a report on that, right?
Correct, because it was the leadership of SRTA looking at the superintendent, yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
That's right. I remember that. SRTA took the time to come and meet with, after TADCOM committee met with consultants for the search for our new superintendent, then SRTA also spoke with them and continued that dialogue until the rest of the community then joined in. And it was a great collaboration. Okay, we'll move on to consent items.
Move items C1 through C10.
Second.
That was, you mean E1, right?
That's what I meant.
Okay, so, so I need a roll call vote, please. That was just, I'm sorry, moved by Director Carl, seconded by Director Christoph.
Aye.
Director Christoph?
Aye.
Director Close?
Aye.
Director Hanel?
Aye.
Director Pugh?
Aye.
President Jay?
Aye. Thank you. Now we'll get down to the discussion action items, and we'll start with Fur Ridge Workforce Housing Project, and Director Carl and I will have to recuse ourselves.
Okay, thank you. We'll open up our discussion. Mr. Eichmann?
Thank you. Thank you, Directors and Superintendent Kitamura. With me this evening is Jim Traber and Paul Thompson of Fagan, Friedman, and Fullfrost, or otherwise known as F3. We continue to move forward with this project. There's been several meetings with different department heads of City of Santa Rosa, including a meeting with a representative from the Mayor's Office. We've also been meeting with other individuals and firms that have worked on this project in the past. And also the cultural resources study has been done. And during the investigation or that study, there were 4 rock formations that were found there. And they believe that 3 of them at least were hunting blinds. But bottom line is they said that there are no historically culturally significant resources there. So in other words, that means there's nothing from a cultural resources standpoint that would prohibit us from moving forward with the project. And with that, I'll take any questions if you have any.
Are there any questions or comments?
I do have a question. And this may not be the appropriate time to ask, but after this is completed, what is the next step?
The next step would be to bring an RFP or request for an RFP for developers.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, with that, that concludes the discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, the next one is F2, update on Viva Esperanza Education Center and the Hope Academy. And Director Carl and President Jay, where are you?
They're coming down now.
They're coming?
Vince?
Just remember the Warriors start at 7:30.
We should probably just go ahead. They would want us to go right ahead, I'm sure.
I'm sure they would.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, with that, we might as well get started.
All right, good evening.
Anna Guzman.
Thank you, Vice President Hanel, members of the board, Superintendent Kitamura. Tonight, we're going to have a presentation regarding the Villa Esperanza Education Center and also the new school that's opening up here in the fall, the Hope Academy. With me this evening, I have obviously Steve Eichmann and then Jen Hansen, who is an administrator here in Santa Rosa City Schools, who's been helping with some charter work, and also from Cap Sonoma, Vince Harper and Nubia Padilla. So thank you. Nubia is going to talk a little bit about...
We're going to start with Vince.
Okay, we're going to start with Vince, excuse me.
So I have one thing to do and I won't mess it up. Villa Esperanza Education Center is a multi-generational community hub that educates, empowers, fosters leadership through collaboration, partnerships, resources, and community engagement in order to promote a positive impact in the lives of children, families, and community transformation. So I'm going to fist pump because I made it through. And I'm very excited about the what's going on over there and the potential as we move into having a charter school. Spent a day, half the day over there, and so I'm very excited about what's going on. So with that, I'll turn it over to Nubia.
Good evening. I would like to review the vision on the components of the Esperanza. You will get then a copy, and it's very important for you to review it. But for now, what we have to say is that Via Esperanza, as being said, is a hub, and we want to have not just services for parents, for children, but it's a community. And you can see in the graphic all the components of this model that we have. As you can see in the graph, we have put a check mark in each one of the outcomes that we have year by year. And I am glad to say that we have almost achieved all the outcomes. There are some minor outcomes, like for instance, the preschool that hasn't happened, but it doesn't mean that won't happen in the future. For now, I just have to say all the activities for year 2013, 2014 are achieved. The same one for the next year, 2014 and 15. We have even achieved some that are way in the future. For instance, the health and wellness services we are doing. We are having a class, a yoga class this May. We have been doing a cooking club. We have been doing nutrition classes, so that is achieved already. Financial literacy, we have done that too. So as you can see, we are moving forward and sometimes very fast. But what I want to address is that this is beautiful, but now we need to think what is next. And we have been thinking, and we have been meeting and talking about what is next for us, and how to put all these activities and all what is happening into the structure that makes sense and that advance parents and really has an impact in the community. And I will show you in the next one. In this one, I was way ahead, but in this one, you can see all the programs that we have so far. We have Avance, Pasitos, Padres Unidos, Abriendo Puertas, ESL classes, individual and in group counseling, English conversation, resource and referral, Triple P, newsletter, childcare for all classes, and citizenship classes. We are going to start, and as you can see, the Parent University model. We have been working on the model. We also, as we developed, we understood that there is not just parents and children, but also service providers and the whole community that benefits from the services. As I said before, we have offered trainings for service providers. We have offered training for preschool teachers and for mental health providers. So what we came out to understand is that has to be more than a simple services for parents and children, and we are moving toward that goal. But the first goal that we are going to concentrate is Parent University. So the next one will...
You can see the numbers here that Via Esperanza has been serving, and this is for this year, and it's very impressive when you just think about sort of, this program has not been around for very long, and the amount of parents and community members we're really able to serve at Via. It's truly, it's a gem for the Southwest community. And here, continued are some of the partnerships. Nubia, you maybe want to...
Yes, and I have to say that nothing that is happening there would be possible without partnerships. So our focus is to have those partnerships, and everybody benefits. We have partnership with Santa Rosa Junior College. We have the GED classes, the ESL classes. We are talking about a certificate program. We have partnership with volunteers in the community. The teacher that does the English conversation is a volunteer. Partnership with Humanidad, Act Solutions, Team Parent Connection, Catholic Charities, Sonoma County Human Services, Padres Unidos, Sonoma County Office of Education, CPI, Abriendo Puertas. And as we talk, these partnerships grow. So that was, this is a report, an annual report, and you will get a copy that you can see, and this is October to October, so by now it had changed, so not the partners, we had more. Now we got, I am so excited about Parent University that I was jumping ahead, but This is what we have been working on. We have all the activities and classes, so we came out with, it's a need now to put a structure to all these activities and classes and to make this a very comprehensive program for parents and also to promote them in not just with education but with the workforce. So we have, right now we have already entry process, orientations, intake, we have the protective factor survey, and we have a welcome questionnaire. But what we don't have, and we are going to integrate to the model, is an individual academic workforce development plan. So the parent, that's the first step, the parent will develop this plan and has the classes and activities, and it's like the strengths that they bring and the weakness and what they need to do to get stronger and be ready for work or for school or for both. We divided the focus areas in 4: leadership, health and well-being, parenting development, workforce development. And the idea is that parents take classes from each one of these focus areas, and they achieve certain number of units. And that will allow them to go to the next step, is to internships or to volunteer opportunities, and then a graduation. That's so important because then the parents will have this sense of achievement, and not only that we will become a transitional academic and workforce development path that is linked to higher education. Could be a junior college or could be Sonoma State, and also could be could allow them to then go to get a job. So in that way, that's I would say that is a very beautiful and comprehensive model. The thing that is important, and you can see, is the case management that goes along as the parents are attending to all these activities. They will also get it's a huge component of this model, case management, because then we can track the progress and support them as they go.
And I just have to say that this has really been sort of Nubia's vision and passion, and she's really worked hard with the team, with Vince and Dr. Cooper, to really make this happen. So this is very exciting progress.
I just want to say one more. To implement this project, this model, we would really need to have a very strong evaluation component, so we can tell the story of when the parent come in and what was the impact for the child, the children and their family, for the parent, what happened with that parent at the end. So that's, I know it's ambitious, and maybe I am talking about longitudinal study, maybe not, but the important thing is that we can tell the story.
It's very exciting. So again, here we are telling the story through photos. Here are some pictures from VIA. And what certificate are they getting to the left?
Oh, yes. We had a train-the-trainer offer to service providers in Sonoma, from Sonoma, Napa, and Vallejo, and some from Alameda. And of course, we have some parents. And this was the training for Abriendo Puertas. The national organization came and they offered the training, and we coordinated. And what is exciting about that is that now, for instance, we have 2 parents providing the training for the parents at the district. And that's what we want to see happening. And the photograph that you see to the right is we moved to room 42 at the front of the school, so that's how it looks right now. We have more photographs. This is the new place, and you are welcome to visit us anytime.
It's very inviting. And so now I'm going to hand it over to Jennifer Hansen, who's going to talk a little bit about sort of our progress for the Hope Academy.
Jennifer, before you start, I have a question. If someone were to visit the campus, do they check in at the office? They check in at the office first?
Usually that's what happens, but if we are expecting them, we know that they are coming, and they come to us directly.
So you're not in the back at the school, now you're in the front?
In the front.
Okay, well, I have to come and visit you because I need to know where you
Yes.
are. And these spaces look so huge and lovely. It looks really great. The color slide does it much more justice. It looks really great.
Yes.
Ms. Hansen's going to provide a date I think some of you might want to come to here in the
Great.
near future. So.
All right.
So I'm here to talk about the Hope Academy and moving forward with that. So our first slide is on the facilities. So we've been working with Steve Eichmann and with Jim Morehouse on how we're going to get this facility ready for the fall. We've decided to go with using rooms 45, 46, 44, 45, and 46. Those are going to be modernized this summer, and those will be turned into the Kinder Academy and kindergarten classrooms. 43 will be the Hope Academy office, which is really convenient. It's right next to the Via Esperanza office, so kind of having that place in mind for parents that this is where you go. We've ordered classroom supplies. A lot of them are listed there, and those have already been delivered and just waiting for kids.
Kids, yeah.
It's been very exciting to work on picking out the play structure for this. And so we contracted with Miracle Play Systems to supply the play structure and complete the installation. We did apply for and receive a $3,000 grant, which was really exciting. The play structure is going to be in that center quad area, the grass area right outside of the classrooms. There's a little picture of it there, so there's a couple of trees, and we've done all the research. Jim has done all the research as far as fall zones, so we're all ready to go on that. I have copies of the play structure that I'll hand out to you so you can look at those. We went with the green and yellow colors of Cook just to kind of keep that uniform look on the campus. It's also the colors of Via Esperanza. It's really cute. It's got couple slides, and we also have a 10 spin on the side that is really great for students with some sensory issues, so it's really exciting. Finally, our outreach and our next steps. So the Via Esperanza staff, Nubia and her staff have done a fantastic job of outreaching to parents. Every chance they get, they're talking about Hope Academy and handing out applications. We have handed out 50 applications to date. We've got some signs posted in front of Cook Middle School and in front of the Via Esperanza area, both the traditional kindergarten sign, and then we also have one for Hope Academy. We will be having a parent information night. It's going to be on May 2nd at 5:30, between 5:30 and 6:30. So if anyone wants to come, feel free. We will be handing out more applications at that time and just giving more information about the programs, Kinder Academy and kindergarten, and postcards will be sent out hopefully next week to get information about that date on people's calendars.
And so that concludes our presentation of where we are with the Via Esperanza, the program, and also the Hope Academy School. I turn it back over to the board.
That was a feel-good presentation. Are there any, Jen, close?
Really quickly, I just want to thank you for the report. It's really exciting, the numbers of people you're serving at Via Esperanza and progress we're making on the charter. But I also wanted to say to staff that this report was great. It was really helpful to me, and the thing specifically is I love seeing the chart, the layout of the programs, and the layers of them, and then also the progress of how you've gotten things done and the check marks of how those things are done. Those two slides should be in in some version, should be in every one of our reports about program development. So thank you very much for that really great report about a really great program.
Thank you.
Director Hanel, did you want to say? Oh, no, Mr. Pugh.
Thank you very much. Great report. It's great to see the progress and growth. But could you tell me how many years Via Esperanza has actually been in existence?
Mm-hmm. We have been there for 2.5 years now.
Great. Great progress. Very visionary. And I would like to encourage our superintendent, perhaps, Diane. This might be an excellent Golden Bell Award candidate at some point. It's a great partnership with the community and does so well with us in integrating our schools. So maybe we can put that on the list as a Golden Bell participant. Thank you.
Anybody else? Thank you very, very much. Great report.
Thank you
and
so
really
much.
Wonderful progress. Thank you.
They're going to give some handouts here while I bring up the next report. Come on.
Oh, yes. It's you again, Dr.
Yes.
Guzman. Okay.
I'm up next. Can't get rid of me.
This is a review of the Accelerated Learner Professional Development.
That is correct. Okay.
Thank you.
going to introduce you guys. Okay. No, I'm going to take my seat. Okay, I'm going to give my seat up to Mr. Williams here in a minute, but I'd like to introduce our presentation this evening. We're going to hear about the Advanced Learner Strategies class that's been taught by Anna Williams. So in front of you is Rosia Macio, Nora Patterson, Jill Bergman, Leslie Loopstra, Kim Walls, Anna Williams, and Steve Williams. And they will be presenting you sort of the work they've been doing this year and how we hope to continue the work for our advanced learners.
There we go. Thank you for having us tonight. We just wanted to take the opportunity to share a little bit about our experiences around the professional development that's occurred this year and how this is going to inform, hopefully, our district plan in reaching the needs of our advanced learners. First, I'd like to speak to our monthly class, which we've all, as professionals, really enjoyed our time together. And its core really has been on how to differentiate our lessons, differentiate the content, the process, resources, and the product using icons of depth and complexity and more concept-based thinking.
There we go. So this idea came about after It's About Time. Anna taught a couple classes there, and there were teachers who were interested in learning how to better differentiate instruction in the classroom. So Anna Williams suggested that she teach a monthly class where we explored how to incorporate concept-based instruction and how to better meet the needs of our advanced learners.
So I'll just say that that whole piece ties in really well with the next slide, the next generation science standards. And the next generation science standards ask for concepts to be key pieces of what we're working on. And this whole idea of having concepts allows us to differentiate for various levels of students by giving them different concepts that they focus on the same material. And so they're looking at it from different lenses.
And I just wanted to give an example. I am a teacher on special assignment at Monroe School. And so part of my position is I service students on my own. I have my own students. But I also push into classrooms and do demonstration lessons and collaborate with teachers, which is really exciting. And after this class, I got the opportunity to implement some of these lessons with these advanced learner strategies. And I really enjoyed it. And I service intervention students myself. So I know these are for typically for high achieving students, these strategies, but it was excellent to implement them with all my students and see how that impacted them. I also got to work with the 6th grade classroom with a really wonderful teacher who was just open to trying something new. And we noticed the same thing when I did a demo lesson with her class, and she also tried it on her own using these strategies. We just noticed the level of engagement. It was much more visible, and even reticent students were rising to the occasion. So that was very exciting. It was very exciting.
One lesson I taught after our instruction with 2nd graders at Abraham Lincoln, I read the picture book, The Little House, and the students were able to identify patterns of change in the book. It was really exciting.
I just wanted to reiterate that the strategies that we learned in our class inform our style and the development of our work with children, not only the gifted students, but also struggling students and all of the other children in between.
It's been exciting to get to work with this team at Small and Mighty Group, and have come every month to work together. So it's a first step that we have in our LCAP, that the advanced learners need some emphasis, and teachers need professional development to help support their strategies and thinking. So we see this as a first step, and we're excited about what we can create in the future.
Student Succeeds Act. It's a new federal act that says, really makes two main points. First, that we have to have every student improve during the year that they're with a teacher. That means we no longer can have a proficient student that we can just ignore. We have to provide services, provide education appropriate for that child so that they make improvement. And the second thing is it allows us to use Title I funds to actually implement those changes so that teachers can get those professional development, so that we are able to make sure that every student is moving ahead in their year in every class.
So our identification process, we use the RAVEN, which is a nonverbal test, and we do have some other means for identifying listed, but students are often not being identified because teachers haven't received professional development so they understand how to identify the advanced learners or gifted students.
So I think we should revise the identification process. We need to revise the current perception of GATE students because not all GATE students are high achievers. GATE students can struggle in school, they can have low self-esteem, they can be underachievers. We need to look for GATE students within our entire school population because giftedness is everywhere. It's in our EL, foster youth, and special ed students. We need to make sure that all of our teachers know how to recognize traits of giftedness in all students and realize that being gifted and excelling in school do not always go hand in hand. Our method of identification isn't perfect, and therefore students who are not identified linger in classrooms with untapped potential. Our district should develop curriculum models that include concept-based instruction, like the NGSS, so that all students will have access to depth, complexity, and novelty, whether identified as gifted or not. So let's be a district that trains our teachers to recognize these students and develops programs that support their learning needs.
We're at a crossroads in the district now. We're currently embarking on an exciting journey to create units of study for our elementary students with Connie Cam and Cam Solutions, using an organic method that will suit our students really appropriately. Some of the key elements of her planning include intriguing questions, problem and solution-based learning, learning opportunities that engage students deeply and creatively in learning skills and concepts, differentiated and varied instructional practices, formative learning opportunities woven throughout the units. At this stage, it's important for us to be sure that we explicitly integrate advanced learning strategies into the collaborative curriculum design. We would hope to see emphasis on allowing for depth and complexity, differentiation, and raising the level of discourse and engagement for all students. We would hope that the unit templates will have a dedicated place for the overarching big ideas that are essential to deeper learning for all students.
So this is Dr. Joseph Rinzuli's three-ring model for gifted behavior, which categorizes students, their strengths into three major areas: task commitment, creativity, and intelligence. And you can have a ladder, if you will, that allows students to climb a differentiated curriculum in a classroom, but not all students just immediately jump on that ladder and start climbing. And so it's fortunate for teachers that task commitment and creativity in particular are things that we can teach in our classroom. And so one way to improve the access to a differentiated curriculum in the classroom is to have teachers have an opportunity to learn how to teach their students and their parents about the growth mindset. And so I just wanted to share with you just a little bit of information about Dr. Carol Dweck's work around the growth mindset. This asks that we teach students to embrace challenge rather than avoid it. It asks that students persist in the face of setbacks rather than give up, that they see their mistakes as learning opportunities, and that they are an important part of the journey of learning, and that criticism that they receive on their work and their efforts and their projects is a valuable part of learning and growing. We need students to learn, in addition to our basic curriculums, lessons and inspiration about people's successes from the real world, and that they must see that putting effort in to their school is a really integral part of growing and learning. And so the teaching of the growth mindset is a valuable way of teachers providing students with the basic skills they need to climb that ladder of differentiated curriculum. And it's a really good example of something that should be included in our advanced learner programs.
So we put together some next steps that we suggest. We suggest that in the K-3 grades that we provide differentiated instruction in all areas for all students. We're thinking big. Our focus should be to develop and encourage talent and curiosity in all students. Next, we believe that all students can be introduced to big ideas that stretch across the disciplines, ideas like systems, adaptation, and power. These ideas can foster critical thinking skills for all students. And we recommend in the 4th through 6th grades that we should be clustering advanced learner students together. This cluster group does not need to be exclusive or separate, but research shows that students need to be with their academic peers to develop their full potential. Lastly, we need to provide support for teachers, support so that identification of advanced learners is occurring in all of our student populations, our English learners, our foster youth, our low income. We need to redefine who we see as gifted. Teachers need support to learn how to do all of these things and make these shifts. And we thank you for the opportunity to share our thoughts tonight, and we look forward to working together in the future.
Any questions or comments from the board? Director Hanel.
I really love what you're doing, and the idea of concept-based instruction going across all the curriculum is wonderful, and that it's going to be integrated, and hopefully every teacher can get this training. And I would hope our report card would reflect the depth of the thinking that the students are doing. You know, I don't know where we are on our report cards at this time, but you know, you can have a kid who's a C or a B, and I would hope that you could have maybe a report card that would show where they accelerate in certain areas of complexity, shall we say. And I like the new model of developing or of identification compared to the old model. And just thank you very much for your work. It's wonderful.
So I have to take a minute and tell you a personal story, which is so important with the work you're doing today. And I agree with you. You find children like this through all walks of life. Oh, this is terrible. My nephew, when he was like in 6th grade, my brother and sister-in-law were really worried about him because he just wasn't engaging in school at all. And they had moved, and they felt maybe they had moved too many times, and very worried. Teacher approaches my sister-in-law and says, my sister-in-law is an educator, and says, you know, Mark loves math, but he hates to read. We don't think he belongs in this school. This is in Chesterfield County, Virginia. She said, you know, there's a special math school, like STEM, for middle school kids. Mark goes there, Mark excels, He's like a brainiac. He just kind of kid who's always had his nose in a book after that because he just learned the joy of learning. So Mark ended up going to Virginia Tech, became an electrical engineer in the ROTC program, graduated, did 2 tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, and captain in the Army. He is now teaching at MIT and Harvard. And this is a kid that we were worried about that he was detached. So it's all about connecting and making that, finding that spark. And that's what you all are talking about. And I totally agree with you. It's at all levels. It's just, can we have the teaching, can we educate all of you to find that in each child?
I believe yes.
I do too.
And I have said that before, and I'll say it again.
I do too, but I wanted to finish with it's up to us to provide you with the training.
Yep.
And show, and then others will find the passion too. It's all about that. So I can't thank you enough for what you've done, what you're doing. And, I hate to get like this all the time. It's just very personal. So thank you.
Well, that's what keeps it real. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's your mother?
Thank you for your grandson, too, that's teaching at Pioneer.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's move on to F4, another discussion item. Mr. Edson.
Good evening, President Jay, Superintendent Kitamura, and the rest of the board members. I do look over at the clock and I realize that we're minutes away from tip-off. So we'll move on. As we've discussed many times at various board meetings, we've taken a close look at all of our systems and the way we do business in the district, especially with our electronic systems from my vantage point, and really going towards a data-driven decision-making model and really using data to effectively make decisions in many areas of the district, to back it up with substantiated fact. So through that process, one of our major data warehouses and most important data sources is our student information system. And with that, we are in the process of evaluating that, and Rand, our Director of Data Testing and Assessment, is going to go into much greater detail. But it's a very exciting time, as Superintendent Kitamura mentioned earlier, with the increased use of technology throughout the district and the capacity to do so at all of our sites is making a huge difference. And this is, the next step, if you will, as we now are building out systems that can use the capacity that we're building into our network and our other data infrastructure. So with that, I'll turn it over to Rand.
Good evening. I don't know what tip-off he's talking about. I have no idea. So data-driven decision-making is really, it's a cycle. It's plan, it's do, it's check, it's act. It can be the very large things that a district does, and it can be the very small things that a teacher does within their classroom. And we're looking for ways that we can help at the smallest level for the teacher and make it simple, and at the biggest level at the district and make that simple as well. So the first part is a little bit about our system. We have a student information system that holds a collection of information. The primary source, we don't mention its name anywhere in the document. Things like attendance, grades, demographics, that's all in one system. In our particular situation, we keep testing data in a separate system. It's housed outside of our district. It's called the Online Assessment and Reporting System. In addition to that, we use a collection of different systems to do testing. One in particular represented here is Let's Go Learn. Because we've joined the School Climate Transformational Grant, we now house data in two separate systems. One is the Swiss system, which is outside of ours. That's where we're holding the schools that are currently implemented in the grant. And then the rest of our data for discipline behavior is stored within the student information system. Way out in left field is the SACE system, which is the Special Education Information System. It's a consortium, it's a good system, but again, it's not one of ours. It's not integrated into our house. And then we have a collection of other ancillary type products that we interact with, that we have data in, including the state system of CalPADS, the Destiny Library System, and Naviance. So how do we do the work between systems? Some of the processes are manual. We create an extract file electronically out of the student information system. We ship it off to Let's Go Learn. We upload it electronically. In some systems, the process is really literally physical. We type the information into the system because at the present time there isn't an electronic pathway, whether manual or the preferred method, which is somewhat automatic. So overnight, every night, our student information system communicates with the OR system and the Destiny system. We're working on getting it to do that with Naviance, and we send an update file. It's an automated process, and then the next morning, the other systems have been updated. You'll notice these arrows go one direction. So our student information system, what we currently have, is housed on-site with 10 computer servers. It's based on 10-year-old technology. We customize it to meet some critical district needs, and within the process of customization, we managed to make a system that's not version upgradable. We're currently on version 2.5 at our site in our district, but the program itself is on version 4+. Overall, user satisfaction with our current student information system is low. Many users describe the process of navigation as laborious. So far to date, we've had a number of focus meetings. We've had 7 different groups get together, provide us information on feature sets, things they'd like to see from a positive standpoint. What are the kinds of things a new system would do for us? We conducted an all-staff survey as well, so we put that same question out to all staff, gave everyone an opportunity from the classified front-end folks to the teachers, to administrators and district office staff. We've we created a student information evaluation committee, which has met 3 times, one of which was a very brief product demonstration, and by brief I mean 90 minutes brief, product presentation. That was yesterday evening. And we had a survey originally intended to go out April 7th to ask our user base, okay, you've told us what the features are, we've done some work around that, now which features get priority if we get to a place where we have to choose between systems that have one feature, maybe not another. Unfortunately, still a little bit more work needs to be done on that. We hope to get it out on Monday. There were 76 staff members that attended a focus group meeting of one sort or another. I won't read all the names. And the evaluation committee, we have 51 members, committee volunteers, that have either met or have attempted to meet, depending on what schedules are. We've been keeping a pretty good pace going. But this core group is looking at systems for us, and they're going to help guide our decision-making process. And in particular, considering we were at Maria Carroll High School last night until 6:10, we're particularly indebted to this group of people that's willing to continue the process of looking at these systems. So as we go forward, what are the things that we're looking for? What are the kind of the must-haves, if you will? Today's technology needs to work on any device, whether it's the cell phone in my pocket that's reminding me about this board meeting, or it's the laptop in front of us doing this presentation. We want it to work everywhere. We also want the system to just simply work. We don't want to have to worry about it. We turn the light switch on, the lights work. We want the same thing for our student data system. We want student data that's easy to get to, a click or 2 at the most. find out anything we want to about a particular student or about a school or about our district. And we'd like for our data system to work with the disparate group of data systems that we still will need. We'll still have to interface with CalPads, for instance. We're looking for something that's intuitive, easy to use, and has a very powerful user interface. Teachers, of course, are interested in a robust online grading program, and not just one that does the traditional DNF, but we also need one that can be standards-based. We want something that will automate some of the state reporting that we currently have to do, take out some of the manual calculations that are currently in place, and we'd really like to have something that has data dashboards, a variety of data dashboards, not just a single focus, but something that can be customized down to the individual user level. I won't read the rest of those there, most of those pieces. So our next steps, we're going to continue our student information system vendor presentations. In fact, we are having another one tomorrow night at Carrillo, and that our time will last till 6:30 because we're going to stay as a committee and talk about what we've seen and what we want our next steps to be. That committee will continue the process. We'll look at more systems, or we'll look deeply into the two that we've looked at so far. That'll be a decision the committee makes. Rick and I aren't going to make that decision alone. It's going to be that group of 51. And then we're going to bring information back to the board for our next steps. In the end, what we're really looking for is a system, a new system that interacts, both taking information in and providing information out to the different systems that we have to connect with. We may lose some of these outside systems because we don't need them anymore. They may become integrated into what we buy. When we have this system, it'll be automatic, it'll be seamless, and we'll have confidence that the information we're looking at is the right and accurate information, that something didn't get lost in translation or something didn't happen because we forgot a checkbox in an upload. And most importantly, we're looking for a system that'll help us grow. Any questions?
Rand, obviously the committee's been able to give us some pretty clear direction in terms of the needs. Are those directions or bullet points given to the vendors so that they can address those issues or explain why they can't do what we need?
Exactly what we did. We provided I provided essentially a list of, these are the features that our staff, I mean, besides a robust system, and you got to give us something that really does the work we needed to do, but our users are interested in this set of stuff. Absolutely.
Presumably what that does is narrow the vendors or maybe nobody walks away, but you'll know pretty quickly when they can't answer the questions and you've told them up front, and hopefully that doesn't waste as much time.
Absolutely.
Well, it also allows us to dictate the presentation rather than only seeing what that particular vendor is really good at. We get to see the things that we're most interested in. So to that point, it's a very valuable process, and the vendors that we've worked with so far have had no problem taking our direction on these presentations and tailoring them to meet our needs at this point, realizing not only did we schedule them quickly for the first couple, we only gave them about 24 hours with our needs so we could see how they would react to that as well and how they could tailor a presentation, which was good from the first round that we went through, and we'll continue through that process as we move down the path.
Director Christoph.
Yes, I want to thank you for your report. It was very clear and well organized. I really appreciate that. Very informative. I also I want to praise you for the process, because I think this is going to get us the best product that we can possibly get. And I will mention the last time we went through this with a current system, the process was lacking and the results are very clear. So I have great expectations that we'll do a good job, very good job this time. And then just an aside, some teachers from another district were talking about a system called ARIES, and I'm sure you're familiar with it, but I just thought I'd throw that out there to make sure that, somebody, anyway, they were saying it was for the teachers anyway, a very good system.
Okay, thank you very much. Good report.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now move on to F5, measure INL progress. bonds.
Good evening once again, President Jay, Superintendent Kitamura, the rest of the Board of Directors. Tonight, we wanted to give an update on the general progress of Measure INL. Most recently, we've had a lot of discussions about the Facilities Master Plan and where that's going and where we're heading with that portion of it. But just as a reminder of the overall bond program, which is greater than the Facilities Master Plan, although the Facilities Master Plan is a pivotal piece to moving forward and the allocation of funds. Hold on for just one sec. First, I'd like to introduce the gentlemen that are sitting next to me. To my far right is Steve Eichman, the Assistant Superintendent. To my immediate right is Jim Morehouse, Director of Maintenance and Operations. And to my left is Adrian Bika, Director of Technology. And at the current time, that comprises the day-to-day members of the bond team that's working towards our goal of getting this off the ground. As you can see on the slide, we're currently in the process of going through applications for the Director of Facilities, as well as the Communications Coordinator. And this page is actually taken off of our bond website, srcsbond.news, as a reference place for contact information for members of the bond team. As we know and have talked about frequently, in November of 2014, Santa Rosa voters approved Measure INL, $175 million for the secondary district and $54 million for the elementary district. And really what that does is infuse our district with the opportunity to do great things for our students, staff, and facilities. And bonds can primarily be used for, based on bond language, our learning environments, providing current technology, and the much needed school repairs from many years of budget deficits that led to some of our systems and buildings not being kept to the standard that we'd hoped for all of our school sites. As part of the bond process, which I just mentioned a few moments ago, the Facilities Master Plan, in January of 2015, we selected QKA to develop a comprehensive Facilities Master Plan. And to this point, I'm happy to say that we'll be bringing it back to the board on April 27th, a final draft version for your review and consideration for approval. And through that entire process of the 70-plus meetings that we've had with school sites, community forums, and students, the guiding principles through that has been transparency, being inclusive and thorough at each of our sites, and equity amongst our sites, and really looking at not only what doesn't look right, but what isn't working right as well at all these sites, and what can be improved through this planning process that's really designed to take the district beyond the scope of this bond and looking out at the 10, 15, 20-year mark. We know through this process and through what will be presented to the board later this month that the estimated cost of doing everything in the Facilities Master Plan of the need is going to far exceed our capacity right now from Measure INL. But what this does and what we've explained at community forums is gives us the opportunity, as we are able to leverage other funding sources, the state bond measure that's going to be in November, it allows us not to have to go through this process again in the near term, and we'll be able to modify and adapt this document to meet both our facilities needs and programmatic needs throughout all of our school sites. Touched on all of this already. I will plug the bond website again. The draft Facilities Master Plan is still up on the website for review, both the entire plan as well as broken down by individual school site. And we are still accepting comments on that from both the board and the public.
Including the comments that you got today in public comment?
Yes. And so here's a snapshot of the webpage that shows the facilities master plan and the individual school sites that can be downloaded and viewed. Before I turn this over to Steve, a major milestone occurred in February for the bond program was the successful selling of Series A for both the elementary and high school district, as well as Series B for the elementary school district. And I am going to turn this over to Mr. Eichmann to explain that process.
Thank you. And as you can see here, what I'm excited about here is that for both of the technology bonds, we were able to get a 3-year bond term. And then also for the elementary facilities portion, it was 19 years instead of the traditional 30 years. So that will really be beneficial to the taxpayers. And before these were sold, and the actual sell date was February 10th, Carolyn Bischoff, the Executive Director of Fiscal Services, and I went to San Francisco, and we spent the morning with Moody's, and we spent the afternoon with Standard & Poor's, talking to them about a possible upgrade to our bond rating. And Standard & Poor's, while they did, ours remained the same with them, Moody's did upgrade us to a AA2, which then allowed us to sell the bonds at a lower interest rate.
Thank you. One of the other things that is required by both bond measures is the formation of the Citizens Oversight Committee, which really provides community and public oversight to the expenditure of bond funds. We convened the Citizens Oversight Committee last year and had the first meeting in August of 2015. We also conducted our second meeting last night, keeping the group of community members that are part of this committee updated on where we're at, and we gave very much a similar presentation and talked about the role of the Citizens Oversight Committee. Through that, on the chart, I don't want to read all this, I think we know, but the makeup of the committee of 7 members required for each bond, not just one, that have to meet these requirements in order to participate. A key to this that I did not put on the slide is members of the committee can't be employees of the district, consultants, or contracted by the district in any way. So they are true community members that only have a vested interest in the success of our schools, not in financial reward, if you will.
Is it fully populated?
It's not, and I'll get to that next. So right now, and after the meeting last night, we got to find out who was still on the committee and who was not. We knew we had some holes in the elementary, or some vacancies in the elementary committee. We are still in need of a business person representing a business organization, senior citizens organization, a member from a bona fide taxpayers association, and a member at large.
So the Sonoma County Taxpayers Association doesn't have a name for somebody to sit on the committee?
We're going to reach back out to them. We do have one for the high school committee,
right,
but he does not reside in the elementary school district, so he can't participate in both. We did have a member last night who was sitting on the high school committee, high school district committee, who then volunteered to be part of the elementary school district committee, so that filled one of our vacancies there last night. And one of the members we thought was on the committee has declined to be on the committee now, so that opened our only hole in the high school committee of a parent or guardian, which is also active in the parent-teacher organization. We are going to create some collateral material for the website to recruit new members. Several committee members from last night volunteered their services of getting word out amongst other people that are interested and involved in the district, including their social media campaigns as well. They asked if that would be okay, and we said sure. Well then, once applications come in, we'll review and then bring them to the board for appointment. So with that, and we know that the facilities project portion of it is really waiting for the facilities master plan to be done, the construction of buildings, the modernization of buildings, the maintenance and repair of existing plant systems. But we do have some things in progress. Generally speaking, the facilities master plan is coming up to the finish line. And then in May, we'll come back at subsequent meetings and talk about priorities for the expenditure of bond funds for facilities projects. Santa Rosa Charter for the Arts is currently underway, and the building of that and the construction of that seems to be exponentially increasing with this nice weather as we drive, or as I drive by there several times a week to check on progress. And then in technology, we were fortunate enough to be able to start on some of these projects even towards the end of last school year with initial data center upgrades, the student devices that Superintendent Kitamura mentioned with, that has dramatically improved the SBAC testing this year. We were able to roll out the additional wireless capacity during infrastructure phase 1 earlier this school year. The teacher and administrator laptop distribution along with the accessories. And right now we're looking at classified computer and student computer replacement plans, especially to get rid of many of the old computers that we have on the district still running the Windows XP operating system. In February, we brought to the board infrastructure phase 2, which is currently being staged at our integrator. I think now, and Mr. Bika can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think there's about 120 pallets of equipment getting staged and ready to be brought down to Santa Rosa City Schools for implementation. So a lot of exciting things going on right now. The whole team, QKA, is very excited about finalizing the requirements for the facilities master plan and bringing that back in a couple of weeks, and then setting priorities and getting ready to start initial projects as soon as we can. So with that, we'd like to thank the community once again for passing Measure INL and the great things that are going to happen in Santa Rosa City Schools for the benefit of our students, staff, and facilities. So with that, if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Any questions, comments? No, thanks. Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to F6.
I'll move the resolution.
Second.
It was moved by Director Carl, seconded by Director Close. Roll call vote, please.
Director Carl?
Aye.
Director Close?
Aye.
Director Christoph?
Aye.
Director Hanel? Director Pugh? Aye. President Jay?
Aye. Thank you. Now move on to F8.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
I have a comment.
Okay.
Second.
Comment, Frank. That was moved by Director Christoph, seconded by Director Hanel. Frank.
Well, the question of moving from 7 to 5 board members, I'm not necessarily supportive of that. And the reason is because I'm confused a little about what the resolution actually says. It talks about studying, I guess, studying the reduction. When we went from 5 to 7 in the past, we just really went through the board made a decision and we worked through the process and got it done. But it seems like we will have the county Committee on School District Reorganization working on a project over here. And at the very next item on the agenda, F9, we're going to be looking at establishing trustee areas happening over here. So we're talking about doing a study to go from 7 to 5 here, and I'm not sure what the study is actually going to do. And we have over there a discussion of trustee areas. And yet there seems to be a connection between the two of them, because in the resolution of the item that's not before the board at this point, but soon will be, it talks about the concept that we're a board comprised of 7 trustees, but it's considering reduction. So if we're already considering reduction, why are we going to have a study to study it? I find it confusing to me. So what would make me happier is if item F9 would give the researcher the ability to figure what is really the best configuration, 5 or 7 of the district, And upon gathering that information together, then we would make a decision whether the county district, school district reorganization, the county committee should actually get involved with that. Because what it's doing is it's denying the researchers that are trying to create the best representation model to this board. It takes a tool away from that researcher. And I would like to see, it would help me greatly to think that that item F9 would talk about the whole idea. Is the 7-member board good for the representation needs of this community? Or would 5 better suit it? But this is taking that decision away, and it's making it sort of difficult for me to get to a position of supporting that. That's my thoughts. I may have a few other comments in a minute.
Director Carl.
Thanks. In general, I agree with Frank in the sense that I see these as linked, that I think absent an analysis of whether we go to trustee districts, I'm not sure we would be instituting something that would say go from 7 to 5. There are certainly meritorious aspects of going to 7 to 5. Shorter meetings, less cost to the district. A lot of the reasons we went from 5 to 7 have gone away. The massive committee structure that we had, where we needed to spread out a lot of the information, the intent to try to create more diversity on the board. Those things may be well addressed on the district side. So I think they are together, and certainly my interest is not to make a decision on any of that tonight, but to be analyzing all of that together. And so to the extent that we can accomplish that in one resolution that says we want to look at all of this, so that if in fact we go to trustees, are we at 7 or are we at 5, it's within that context.
Director Christoph.
Yeah, my support of doing this would be to figure out the best representation we can possibly have, and that's a conversation I think I would like to have with my fellow board members as well, because people have been doing this for a long time and know the pulse of the community. So it's almost like I want to support this, of course, to take a look at it, because can we do better, and that includes whether we go to single-member districts or whether we stay at large or we stay at 7 or go back to 5. But maybe the resolution's not doing exactly what I thought it was going to do. I thought it was just going to precipitate an investigation and no more than that. And then we would have that information that come back to us, and we would have a chance to discuss it and then move from there. Or am I incorrect on it?
No, you are correct, and these two definitely are linked together. And typically, if you're looking at going from an at-large voting, to trustee area, that's the time that you also want to look at the membership on your board. And is that the time, it's time to look at it and say, do we want to reduce from 7 to 5, stay at 5, or if you're at 5, go to 7, whatever it may be. And with me tonight is Shelley Lapkoff from Lapkoff Gobelay Demographic Research. And what they would do is, these are resolutions to study these two items, and they are related. And what she would do, and with her partner and her firm, is they would look and analyze all of the information, and they would come back to the board then with plans and say, these are the options that you have available to you going forward. And then you could discuss the merits or, the downside of each of those, and then based on that, be able to make a decision as to how you wanted to proceed in each of these areas.
Director Pugh.
Well, that's fine. It would have been nice to have both resolutions pushed together, because to me, the research piece of it, item F9, needs to have the ability for the researcher to consider all possibilities, whereas F8 is pretty well driving it to the County Office of Education through their County Committee of School District Reorganization. Certainly, if item F9 bears fruit, and there's a decision and a providing of information that would draw the conclusion of the board that a 5-member board would be a benefit, then that would be the time to enact F8, not before, in my opinion. And when I look at the history of key issues there were 4 items that were identified. The first says some districts have a difficult time filling trustee positions. Has not been the case of this board. We've never had an empty seat. And then it talks about aligned territories with the Board of Supervisors. I don't know if that's required by statute or law, but I don't believe that is a compelling issue of this board to align ourselves with the county county supervisors. Potential cost savings. Well, in a district this size, the 7-member boards are not unusual. I doubt there is a really tremendous cost savings. Perhaps there is, but you have to weigh that against the cost of representation. It seems to me that if a person is going to run for office in this district, you have a much larger geographical area at some point if you're 5 than you're 7. And the notion of the resolution connected to item F9 is pretty straightforward. We're looking for how do we have the best representation that we can muster in our district. Going to 5 members doesn't open the door, it shuts the door. It creates an expense for the person running for office from so much to so much larger by reducing the denominator of 5. And then lastly, it talks about board management as being a compelling issue to go from 7 to 5. I haven't noticed our board being out of control, that we can't manage the affairs of the board. We've been able to do it all these years. So I don't want anybody to say that I'm arguing to maintain 7. What I'm arguing for is to try to create the best representation from our community to be at this desk. And I would say that giving the researcher, the person doing the analysis, all the cards and not withhold some is a better way to go. And so that's why I have great difficulty with item F8, and I hope that those words could be somehow incorporated into F9, because F9 is where the rubber hits the road, in my opinion, for great representation from our community, opening doors and not shutting them down.
I'd like to make a friendly amendment to the resolution, that the resolution is now therefore resolved that the Santa Rosa City School District Board of Trustees requests that a study be conducted concerning the decrease in the size of the Santa Rosa City School District Board of Trustees from 7 to 5, and add within the context of the district election study. And I think what's actually, my Robert's Rules of Order, I make that friendly amendment if that's acceptable first to the maker of the motion, then I can speak to it. Otherwise, if he doesn't, then you've got it. Is that okay for you to okay. So I think the issue here is we're not asking the county committee to do anything. The county committee, it's just noticed that they're authorized to do these things. We're not asking them to do anything. We're going to look at this issue within the context, and this change makes it clear that we're only looking at this issue within the context of the district election issue, which is the next item. So that in fact we're telling the researcher, bring us back, we want the best representation, and tell us, what you find relative to 7 versus 5. And we're not going to the county committee and saying we're wanting to move. I think that whereas clause may raise some concern because it's not clear. I think we go to the resolution and we say that it's within that context that takes that clarity.
I have 2 more people with their hands up, Jen and Frank.
I agree with Frank's position on this, and I think it actually makes more sense to make an amendment to F9 and to vote no on F8, but instead to amend F9 to include this.
Frank?
I would agree. I mean, the second whereas of the item now before the board politic here is to authorize the county committee on school district organization to initiate a possible decrease. It's not study, provide information, it's initiate a possible decrease in the number of trustees. It's pretty clear that we're decreasing the number of trustees here. And I do appreciate the friendly amendment, but I think there should be more emphasis on the second resolution as opposed to the first.
Well, to the extent that we can put it into the second, that's great, but that whereas clause only says this is what the ed code authorizes. We're making no resolution here authorizing the committee to do the county committee to do anything. That whereas clause is limited to saying this is what the ed code authorizes. We're not making any resolution to do anything relative to the county committee. It may be easier to put it into item 2, or the second item, but the first item doesn't authorize anything relative to the county committee.
Yes, I see what you're saying, Director Carl, that it's not authorizing the county to do anything. I would like to ask the consultant, I'm sorry, I forgot your name. It was the recommendation to make these 2 separate resolutions. So do you see a problem with combining them into one? Is there a reason that we don't know about why it's two separate resolutions?
Actually, I didn't have anything to do with the resolution itself, but when we study this, we will be doing the by-district election plans, and we would do some that are 5 and some that are 7, and you would see the difference.
So you'll be doing that at the same time?
Yes.
You'll actually be doing the study about the at-large as well as the 5 to 7 at the same time?
Yes.
Okay. Steve, or Mr. Assistant Superintendent Eichmann, was it a recommendation from legal counsel to do 2 separate resolutions?
Yes, it was.
And for what reason?
They said it was cleaner to do it that way, to have one for the possible reduction, or at least the study to look at that, and then also to have one for the voting at large to the possible trustee area.
But did they say why?
They said it was just cleaner if you had 2 separate items to look at, because you may say, for example, for FH, you just may say, we have no interest in that at all, so we don't want to do that, but you still want to do the study on the going from the at-large to the trustee area.
So I would say to the directors that it is at your will, because I actually don't see it. Even if you combine them, I think it's fine. If you leave them separate with the added verbiage, I think it's fine. So it's really up to the directors which direction we'd like to go.
Well, if it would help, the second resolution, which is not before us yet, if we added to that resolution and consider whether the number of board members should be 5 or 7, then it's within context. I don't think we're telling the folks that are going to do this work anything more or less than what they already know they're going to do, and that might resolve the issues with respect to the board, because we ought not get lost on that. And at the same time, I think we're all looking for the same information.
Director Pugh.
Well, that would help me. That would help me get to the. I would feel much more comfortable with item F9 if those words were in fact created and placed in the document when we get there. But you have to ask yourself the question: what is the purpose of F8? Because this could be enacted at any time after the decision, after the data was gathered, after the presentation was made before the board would look at it and say, aha, staying 7 is great, or aha, going to 5 members is better, and now let's tell the county committee to go make that work. Why are we having 2 separate groups study the situation? Because as I read it, and maybe I'm wrong, could be, have been before, F8, there is going to be a study, they're going to study it. And what are we going to do in F9? We're going to study it. We got 2 studies going on at the same time. And I would prefer to conclude with the first one, which is F9 in my opinion, and then we use a decision later on to take care of F8 should there be a need.
So I'm going to withdraw my second on F8.
Okay.
Well, but you can withdraw the motion.
Yeah. I'll withdraw my motion.
Great. Let's move to F9.
F9. No action on F8 dropped.
No action. I'm going to move F9 resolution with the addition of the language at the end of the resolution and consider whether the number of board members should be 5 or 7.
I'll second that.
That was moved by Director Carl, seconded by Director Close. Roll call vote, please.
Director Carl.
Aye.
Director Close.
Aye.
Director Christoph.
Aye.
Director Hanel.
Aye.
Director Pugh.
A happy aye.
President Jay.
Aye. Okay,
You're welcome.
thank you everyone for that.
Thank you.
No, we
Thank
gotta
you.
go to 8.
Now we'll go on to F10.
Thank you, President Jay and directors. I want to first say that, just quickly, that this could have been a consent item, it could have been done, so I apologize for that right now. But essentially, this is, I'm asking for the board for a approval for a, remember the PIPs and STIPs we talked about in a board meeting or so ago? We have one of those at Elsie Allen who's been filling in as a PE teacher, and the position's been open since August.
Move approval.
Second.
Moved by Director Carl, seconded by Director Hanel. Roll call vote, please.
Director Carl.
Aye.
Director Hanel.
Aye.
Director Christoph.
Aye.
Director Close. Director Pugh.
Aye.
President Jay.
Aye, that concludes our meeting for tonight. We're adjourned. Thank you.